You find yourself at home after work, looking to play a game, to relax, something new. You open Steam, and you see it there, Slay the Princess. It sparks your interest. You download and open it, and it tells you everything you need to know in the first 20 seconds. Your job is to slay a princess. Don't listen to her. She will lie. She will cheat. She will try to do everything she can to gain the upper hand. You mustn't let that happen. Every once in a while, a game comes along that doesn't just tell you a story. It tells your story. Slay the Princess isn't just a horror visual novel. It's a mirror, one that reflects your choices, your impulses, even the contradictions inside of you. Today, I want to take a deep dive into its history, the story that it tells, and most importantly, how it reads you. Because this isn't just a game you play, it's a game that plays you. Hello everyone, and welcome to What Am I Watching? Today, I wanted to take a deep dive into Slay the Princess, and I thank you all for joining me. Slay the Princess was developed by Black Tabby Games, an indie studio best known for Scarlet Hollow, another visual novel with branching choices and heavy psychological themes. Released in late 2023, the game quickly became a critical hit, a darling, and word-of-mouth hit on YouTube and Twitch. What set it apart wasn't just its striking, hand-drawn black and white art style, or even its darkly comedic writing. It was the intimacy of its design. Black Tabby made a game that feels small and simple at first. One cabin, one princess, one knife. But within that simple setup lies something sprawling and deeply personal. From the beginning, the developers were very clear. This wasn't meant to be a power fantasy. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about reflection. They built a system that not only tracks your choices, but your patterns, your contradictions, your stubbornness, and even your curiosity. Every rerun, every hesitation, every choice feeds into how the princess, the narrator, and others respond to you. And in doing so, Black Tabby created something unique. A horror story that adapts not only to who your character is, but who you are. So what's the premise? Slay the Princess begins with a simple directive. You're told by a booming and persuasive narrator that you must slay a princess locked in the basement of a cabin. If you don't, she will end the world. Simple, right? Classic fairy tale logic. Not quite. From the moment you descend the stairs and meet the princess, that clarity crumbles. She isn't a monster. At least, not at first. She's charming, persuasive, sometimes terrified, sometimes kind. And that leaves you, the player, torn between two possible truths. Do you trust the narrator? Or do you trust the princess? And then the loop begins. Because yes, you can slay her, or free her, or hesitate, or try to reason. But the story doesn't end there. Instead, however it ends, it rewinds, reshapes, and warps itself around what you chose to do. The princess is never quite the same, sometimes gentle, sometimes monstrous, sometimes something between. And each variation is a reflection of how you had approached her. This is where the genius lies. The game isn't just telling a story, it's telling your story. Every ending you reach, every form she takes, every evolution of the narrator, it all branches out of the psychology of your decisions. The game forces you to confront not just the princess, nor the narrator, but yourself. When Slay the Princess launched, it spread like wildfire across YouTube and Twitch. Players weren't just talking about the scares, or the art, or even the voice acting, though the performances were phenomenal. They were talking about how deeply seen they felt. Some people came away shaken, realizing that their instinct was always to follow orders, Others felt uncomfortable at how easily they trusted the princess, no matter how suspicious she became. Some tried to break the cycle, only to realize that by trying, the game system revealed even more about themselves. The impact was personal. That's rare in a horror game. Usually, horror scares us with monsters and the unknown, with atmosphere. But here, the real horror comes from introspection, the fear that maybe the game knows you just a little too well. In forums, fans debated which princess form was their true princess. Others wrote long essays about the narrator and what he represented, or how different playthroughs felt like therapy sessions. This wasn't just a story people consumed. It was a story that consumed them. My mother's not a gamer. This morning I was telling her about the video that I'm making, and I was trying to tell her about what the game is. You know what? I think that there's actually a good chance she'll play this one. She asked me what hooked me into it. I told her that I had played through it a few times, getting different endings each time. I felt like maybe I was missing out on a few things, so I went on YouTube and I checked out Euro Bradley's playthrough of Slay the Princess. A therapist playing a game that psychoanalyzes you? Now that is fantastic. By the way, if you reach this video, dude, I loved your playthrough. It was fantastic. Thank you. What struck me about Slay the Princess wasn't just my playthrough, but watching this guy play through, a therapist play through, and saying things like, "This game is telling me what I'm thinking before I can get the words out." It let me know that I wasn't the only one, that this wasn't just special to me, but it was special to everyone. And this is what makes Slay the Princess unlike anything else. It isn't a static, branching path visual novel where you pick an ending and that's it. Instead, the game keeps track of how you behave across all playthroughs, creating a psychological profile of your decision-making. Are you decisive or hesitant? Do you trust easily, or do you question everything? Are you violent or merciful? Stubborn or neutral? The game reads these traits, then builds the next chapter around them. And that's why it feels personal. Because it is. The princess becomes a reflection of your choices. She morphs into the monster that you created. The narrator adapts his arguments to the way that you tend to resist him. And the tensions between the two, the princess and the narrator, slowly begins to feel like the tensions inside of your own mind. This design turns the game into something rare. A story that doesn't just branch, it responds. And the response makes you feel like the game knows you on an uncomfortably intimate level. It's almost like a conversation with your own subconscious. That's the real horror. Not the cabin, not the knife, not the princess. The horror is realizing that your choices aren't just button presses. They're pieces of you. And the game is listening. So where does that leave us? Slay the Princess isn't about winning or losing. It isn't even really about saving the world or destroying it. It's about the choices you make when confronted with an impossible dilemma, and what those choices say about you. It's an experience that's unsettling, challenging, and deeply rewarding. Not because it gives you power, but because it strips it away, forcing you to look at yourself. And that's why I can't just call it a game. It's something more. If anything I've said sparks even a bit of curiosity in you, I urge you, please, try it for yourself. Don't watch a playthrough. Don't just read about it. Play it. Because in the end, the only story that matters in Slay the Princess is yours. And you are the only one who can play it. I want to thank you all for making it this far into the video. If you can, for a small growing channel like mine, a like and a subscribe goes a long way. I would love to know below if you've played Slay the Princess, and if you have, what was your true first ending? On another note, I usually don't do playthroughs on my channel, but I am considering doing a playthrough of Slay the Princess. Does anyone here have any interest in seeing that? Let me know. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.